not even a week into Jason Kenney announcing his intention to run for leader of the Progressive Conservative Party in Alberta, a race that takes place way after the summer, next October, the NDP are already losing their minds with fear. The panic and desperation is so sad and pathetic that it's making me very, very happy. I actually can't wait to see how pathetic and desperate the NDP are each and every morning when I crack open my computer. It's like going on an Easter egg hunt when the eggs are painted with the fear of your enemy. Anyways, the NDP must have had their digital communications and research people working overtime lately because they've decided to comb through Jason Kenney's expense accounts for about the last 10 years. Now, they've found actually nothing. They've found less than nothing. I'll show you what the NDP are saying about Jason Kenney, and then I'll show you what reality looks like for the NDP because they need a quick reminder. So this is the NDP's sad attempt to smear Jason Kenney after all their hard work trying to find something. This is the best they could do. This is from their website. In 2013, 2014, he billed taxpayers $6,000 to fly his mother from Calgary to Ottawa so she could watch his swearing-in ceremony. Then the next thing, when he was a minister in 2012, he had his department spend an extra $750,000 to monitor perceptions of himself in the media, on top of media monitoring already available. Then the next thing, in 2007, he spent $10,698 to attend the elite Bilderberg conference as a junior minister at the time, far outspending his more senior colleagues. Okay, now let me tell you what reality looks like. The NDP are concerned about a one-time cost of Jason Kenney flying his mom to Ottawa to watch his swearing-in 2013. A one-time cost that all politicians are entitled to. Some politicians, when they're being sworn in, fly out their husband or wife to Ottawa to see them. Kenney, not being married, flew out his mom. Big deal. Now, most politicians are able to fly their spouses back and forth from their riding to Ottawa. Jason Kenney doesn't do this because he's not married, meaning he actually costs the taxpayers less. But let's talk about how hypocritical the NDP are because we just know they are. The NDP are worried about a one-time cost from Jason Kenney and his mom. In the meantime, they are paying tax dollars to move out every out-of-province NDP reject from all across the country to move themselves and their Stalin memorabilia and their Karl Marx troll doll collection here. And you and I are paying for it. The taxpayers paid to move Marcella Monroe from BC to here after her lifetime of hating Alberta and bullying reporters. In fact, according to expense claims, it shows taxpayers spent $6,800 to move her here. And then there's former Communist Party of Canada candidate who now works in Rachel Notley's office, Anne McGrath. Taxpayers spent $9,600 to move her here. And that's just 2 of these people. The NDP moved in over 16 of these people at a cost of $99,000. All of these out-of-province mercenaries were moved here to Alberta to work at a time when Albertans were losing their jobs. And we paid for all of it. But the NDP are going to freak out over $6,000? Get real. Then the NDP are mad that Jason Kenney's federal department spent $750,000 to monitor media perceptions. Now, that might seem unusual, except it's not. And the NDP are out of control with hypocrisy again. Jason Kenney at the time was the Federal Minister of Employment and Social Development in a country of over 34 million people, and he spent an additional $750,000. Okay, now let's compare that to the NDP. They also media monitor, most governments do, but it gets better. The NDP created an entire army of media monitoring trolls called issues managers. These people, and I've seen them, they run around with voice recorders eavesdropping on reporters on the legislature rotunda. They stick their little recorders into your interviews with politicians or lobbyists like the CFIB so the government can react and spin their response. These real-time trolls cost over $1 million per year. So the NDP spent more money than Jason Kenney in a jurisdiction 9 times smaller. And that's not even touching on these bizarrely vague contracts for people like former Saskatchewan NDP Cabinet Minister Patricia Atkinson to provide practical ongoing advice to ministers, Premier and Executive Council to the tune of $25,000. Here, let me do this. Resign and let someone else who can do this job do it. Please pay me $20,000. See, I did it on the cheap. Oh, and here's another contract from another former Saskatchewan NDP minister. For something equally as vague, Judy Samuelson was awarded 2 contracts totaling $29,500. Both contracts are basically empty, listing things like providing recommendations on processes and advice on machinery of government. Just nonsense garbage, just sweetheart contracts for NDP friends. But the NDP are pretending to care about $750,000. They spent more than that on those annoying climate leadership ads that are literally everywhere. They are everywhere. I had to sit through one at the movie theater with my kids over the weekend. I was captive. And then the NDP are mad that Kenney went to Bilderberg spending $10,000. Okay, this made me laugh because I just went through these expenses. Shannon Phillips sent herself and 4 others to COP21, the UN climate change conference in Paris this year. And they spent $24,500 on themselves at the Fancy People conference, where they went to show off the NDP's climate leadership plan that we now know will cost Albertans at least 15,000 jobs. Oh, and they expensed their carbon offsets, their penance for the climate crime of flying, onto us, the taxpayer. And that's just Shannon Phillips' entourage. That's not the Rachel Notley contingent. So Jason Kenney, as a federal minister, spent less on an international meeting than the provincial NDP environment minister. Now, I adore this kind of thing. The more the NDP try to attack Jason Kenney, the easier it is to attack them and show just how irresponsible they are with money and how truly scared they are. As the NDP attack Kenney on these issues, they actually make him look better and smarter with taxpayer money than they are. That's how bad the NDP are at being in charge. They can't even attack someone properly. This is going to be the best summer in politics in a long, long time. And again, I'm not endorsing Jason Kenney. I'm not endorsing him, but man, oh man, is he doing a number on the brains of these progressives in this province. And that's amazing. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.